Yeah.
See, that doesn't do that on Chrome.
Excuse me.
All right, there you go. I think we've already seen that shot. That's the sort of interior hangar shot with the Hornet.
Is there going to be an automatic landing system to land that thing, or do you just have to be a really good pilot?
And hope that Idris is holding still.
I think that there probably would be a combination of both, but don't forget, I mean, you're in space, so unless it's like you're on, it's not like a carrier landing at night where the thing's rocking around in a rough sea and all the rest of the stuff. So as long as you're not coming in like crazy hot, it should be pretty easy. So this is the Peacekeeper version, which is the difference is you pretty much have everything else except you just don't have the rail gun or the ship-to-ship turret on the front.
Hey Chris, can I ask a quick question about the hangar?
Sure.
In pretty much any movie or any situation where you have a carrier, there's always the hope that you will find the enemy carrier has left their doors open, and you could and they're drop a torpedo or something.
Or choice.
I mean, if you come along Idris and the dude forgot to close the door and you happen to make a gladiator where you get to send the torpedo, is that the sort of thing where you might get a little bit of an advantage?
No, definitely. I mean, we model the damage, right? So if you manage to bring in and you can like do some hits or land a bomb or something inside, then you bypass the armor, you bypass the shield, so you'll be doing internal damage.
Excellent.
And it's kind of the way it works. Like even on the smaller ships, we model the shields and we model the armor, and actually the system hits are actually modeled correctly. So basically what happens is we reduce the sort of resistance. So like bullets or energy weapons will pass, like once your armor's gone, it doesn't become a barrier anymore, and we trace through the bullet, and then if we hit a system along the way, we do damage to that system. So basically where you're shooting affects like where the system is.
Right, so the shockwave would almost literally gut that part of the vessel in terms of damage.
Yeah. So I mean, like the idea is it's not like once you go through the armor, you like roll a random number to see which internal ship system you destroy, which is that's like a very typical old school way of doing it because you didn't model out. But we're actually physically placing all the items in the ship. So and sometimes if you can walk around the ship, you'll actually see the item.
Like the power plant that you ship.
Right, exactly. So at that point, you trace the hit all the way through, and if you hit the bounding box of the item, then you do damage to the item. When the item goes down, it has rules for what happens. Where like so in a power plant, if you reduce that to 0, that's big, massive explosion.
Right, or the pipe system that you showcased, if you cut it midway, systems down the road will be impacted.
Yeah, no, you'll cut power to some of the systems and stuff.
The inside's just part of the model, right? Same thing on the inside. If you can get in the carrier bay.
I'd hate to be the guy working in the hangar bay that day.
That would be a very bad day.
Did they get hazard pay?
No.
The doors.
Depends who's in charge.
Yep. Fair. I'm gonna put my thing on back.
So the pipe system's actually going to be running through the through the.
There's so many sexy ships. What to do with all of them?
Yeah.
No, you're not. It's just too sexy for you. That's kind of the way it works around
You
here.
could probably turn the Idris into like a party corvette instead of having
Party corvette.
You get like strobe lights.
I want a disco ball in my Corvette.
Thank you very much.
Hey, place bets on Channel 4.
Something up?
No, I think we just unplugged it. Charging.
Going on in the Corvette.
No one gets back.
Corvettes are rocking.
Party bit.
I can just imagine a Corvette going down like it's on. bouncing down the space lanes.
It's got hydraulic landing gears.
Exactly. You got the hydraulics going, and you actually use your retro thrusters to make it go boing, boing, boing all the way down the space lane.
That'd be a massive submarine.
It's playing. I don't see anyone playing that. I guess I see some.
How do you put spinners on a spaceship?
We'll figure out a way.
Individual retro rockets.
Moonshine is what
Creative.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. We're creative people. We can figure out a way.
Nozzles on the thrusters.
Nice. And if you make thrusters that do little sparklers.
When do we get undercarriage lights is the next question.
Neon! All the way around the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure we can handle that. That's way too hot.
Optional spoiler, right?
$10,000.
That you can deploy with a button. I'm assuming there's always that's how our works. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Eric, the man.
Star of the show.
I'm not star of anything.
You're star of the
Sitting
show.
there.
To drink.
As Chris talked about,
Tell the
by
truth.
the bottom of the hour.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, I'll scoot over one.
Some animation video because it certainly looked like you were sitting in your lap.
I was sitting in his lap.
It was cuddly.
HR.
Hey, John! Wait, go
Oh,
away.
wait. Yeah.
I'm HR.
I'm leaving. I gotta go play poker. I'm winning.
So, Chris, have you announced the deal at the bottom of the hour?
I haven't announced. You should mention.
All right. So,
Sure.
due to overwhelming demand, I mean, so there's some people here in the office that tried to get it. We're going to go ahead and release 50 more Idris Corvettes at the bottom of the hour, and that's in about 20 minutes from now. We'll do 50 more. If you're in Germany, hopefully you're still online. But we're going to go ahead and put 50 more up there for sale because there were some people that just couldn't get in. They're bummed about it, and we want to help them out.
Not have to be part of balancing. So that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we could, you can't ignore them. I mean, I'm getting spammed with tons of, I didn't get it. I'm like, you know what? You feel bad for those people because it was 9 minutes. I didn't expect it to sell it in 9 minutes.
We thought we would have that for like 12 hours.
I know.
That would be the rest
You
of
guys are
You gotta be
amazing.
kidding. You always underestimate us.
We totally, we underestimate. It's unbelievable.
No.
Okay. We got the art roundtable. Are you going to run that now, Michael?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to take you away. We have our own host, Sandy Gardner, did the art roundtable. Take it away, Michael. Let's see what we got.
Hi everybody, I'm here with all of our artists at CIG for a little roundtable discussion. Brian Brewer, Chris Smith, Elijah Wood, Jeff Cabot, Chris Olivia, and Mark Skelton.
Who?
Yeah. So Chris actually heads up the team of artists as our chief visual officer. And right now we're all crunching on the 300i.
Right.
So tell us how the process works for us to deliver come Friday.
Oh, this Friday?
What? How did this happen?
Well, no, it's sort of something that we have to do on a regular basis as far as getting brochures and commercials out to sort of like highlight what the various ships are. So in between the process of like building everything for the game and all the artists like working on the actual assets for the game, we have to sort of like focus on getting the marketing tools out. But it all sort of goes towards finalizing the assets for the game and stuff. We sort of have daily reviews to where we go around and sort of like kind of see where everything is at and sort of make sure that there's a consistent vision and everything. But I mean, everybody here is like considered leads, so they're all talented enough to sort of like keep things on a high quality level.
So Brian, what tools do you use, and what's your process for getting your work over to Chris?
Well, I'm generally handed a ship, and I have no idea what I'm going to do because nobody's told me what needs to be done. So I generally work pretty close with Chris Smith here, and he usually highlights everything that needs to articulate on the ship. Some things are very obvious, like doors, but sometimes things that are like control panels in the cockpit, he highlights, hey, these should move this way, things should move that way. Sometimes he blocks in animations, and it's kind of a prototype, which I feed off of, and I go, let's go with that, whatever that idea happens to be. With the 300i, it's been a real learning process for us because a lot of us are still so new in the Cry engine. We're just we're trying to get down the pipeline, how to properly have things built and handed off to animation, how animation needs to set everything up to be properly exported to game. So there's a lot of that. One of the things that I did on the 300i was have to break apart a lot of components. Hydraulics for lifts, had to tear apart the ladder so it can animate proper. A lot of other games, we may not have that issue because we can rig the ship with a skeleton. But the way the CryEngine handles it is they're animated objects. So that's part of the learning curve. That's part of what has been a real challenge on this initial ship, which we are doing internally from start to finish. So as I figure things out, I play it off of Chris, and we kind of go back and forth, and I say, well, maybe it's a good idea to break something down this way and build it out, and then he takes those notes and he does that for the next ship, and then when he hands it back to me on the next ship, it goes a lot faster.
And a lot of it is like working with the game design department as far as like, what's going to be happening on the various ships and stuff, and like what the gameplay is going to be to determine like what needs to be animated.
So basically, we have the concept of the 300i, and then it gets built, and with the concept comes, the stats sheet basically that tells us what kind of power plant it'll have, how fast it'll be, if it's more like a transporter ship as opposed to a quick speeder time.
And what tools, aside from the CryEngine, who works on the ZBrush? Is that what Chris calls it? Is that you, Dalton?
The ZBrush. Come on, we're in Britain now. Yeah, the ZBrush is an amazing tool. Yeah, I work in ZBrush. It's cool. I think Chris does too a little bit.
I do a little bit. Like if there's some wear and tear, like for the hard surface stuff, like scratches and stuff.
ZBrush is like sculpting in 3D. It's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet. That's cool. It's very much like 3D clay. So it's like we finally crossed kind of the barrier where you don't have to manipulate polys as much. It's more like a piece of clay in front of you that you can sculpt into what you want, which as an artist, I mean, because, I'm not hugely technical. I think having, like, digital clay is much more conducive to how I would work regularly than having to, like, jockey polys around that. So it's much more conducive. It's much more artist-friendly than the way I've worked in the past, and that's only come about in the past few years. And you can see it in games. I mean, games have come a long way in the past, 6 years-ish, and a lot of it has to do with, Mudbox and ZBrush as far as, how you deal with polygons now. ZBrush is more organic, where ships are very hard surface, very, crisp lines, stuff like that. But if a ship gets beat up in battle, or if it's bent or blasted or, blown apart or something, then you'd probably want to take it in ZBrush at some point and, do the scarification, do the blast marks, do the bending and the more organic type of stuff.
Well, the thing is, so with the 300i and the way we're modeling these ships now, so that would come into play if we had a lot of unique baked textures. So you bake detail, from a high poly to a low poly. With these ships that we have now, it's mostly a tile texture because we have such a high resolution on the outer shell of these ships and everything. So,
what kind of resolution are we talking about here? Because I want to build my power rig very soon. So, how do I?
Well, I mean, we're using the 1024 map, which is not that high, but we're scaling the UVs so big that on the ship, it makes the texture look more crisp.
And what about the detail of the cockpit and everything inside?
The detail in the cockpit is actually unique. So most of that has been baked from normal maps, and it started out with a high poly.
That's you as well? You're doing that too?
Yeah, I did everything.
Oh my gosh.
Everything. He does the whole game. I don't want to hear. It's the Chris Smith show, ladies and gentlemen.
I did everything. The lighting.
I give him.
I modeled the whole thing, and from start to finish and texture.
Yeah, and you? Come on,
Excellent.
Jeff.
Excellent.
Speak up.
But I helped out on the 300 commercial, the landing pad, which Elijah concepted out the landing pad and the various houses that he had concepted from those, built that for the commercial, and then now I'm back on to the M50.
See, these things take a long time, right? Weeks?
Yeah, it's definitely, months. I mean, these ships definitely take a long time from design to finish. I mean, characters as well. I mean, everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
especially
all,
this guy,
right?
it takes forever.
Did them all.
Anyways.
Did them all. We just scan them in. That's what we do. Scan ships.
We have the cool model button.
Yeah.
That's it. No, yeah, it's definitely a crazy process, and especially like Brian mentioned, there's a couple, some growing pains that we're going through, because some things are unique that we're doing as opposed to other games.
So what are those big flat screen things that you guys work on?
Oh, Cintiq?
Yeah, what is that?
Well, it's sort of geared towards like organic, either sculpting or painting. So, as sort of akin to like traditional drawing and stuff.
So you basically draw on that.
Mm-hmm. Minority Report. That's what it is.
Is that you do it with your finger? No, you do it with a pen, right?
Close enough.
Right. There are versions that you can use your fingers and stuff, but I don't think we have any here.
So who has one of those? Who's got Elijah? You've got one?
Not cool enough.
Not cool enough?
I'm approaching coolness, but I got to lose the hat first before I...
Who needs a Cintiq, right?
Cool. All he has to do is put in a request and he'll get one. So.
Right.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid of technology. I can't handle
1979.
I can't handle it. Me? I wish I was.
Chris said you're working on the banner. Is that true? Or what you're working on right now?
Yeah. No, for like the live stream, there'll be like a new character release for the Bano. So.
How long do these things take? When did you start that?
About 3 years ago.
What? No.
Seemingly.
That was the sex change operation. That was that was 3 years ago.
The basic sort of look is down, but we're trying to get sort of like the finished costume finished before the live stream. So yeah, no, it's hard to sort of put a number on things because there's like so many other things going on at the same time. So everybody's balancing multiple things at the same time.
Some people are night owls. I know Chris Roberts is a night owl.
Right.
So how do you guys...
What time does he wake up in the morning?
What does he have for breakfast?
What kind of question is that?
He emails like at 5 a.m., so I'm just curious.
He works till about 4 or 5 a.m.
Speedos. I work in Speedos.
Yeah.
British Speedos.
They kind of release my creativity.
All right, come on then. When are your best hours? Nude or not nude? When are your best hours, Mark?
The weekend.
The weekend?
It's my best hours.
Best hours?
No, I don't know. It depends. I don't mind working during the day, I guess. You know what? To an artist, it's like quiet. If you can have quiet for like a couple of hours,
like about the flow,
the flow, like uninterrupted craziness, then that's when you get the most work done. Obviously, I think that's with anybody, though.
Okay.
But since there's so much crazy.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, for an artist, it's hard to sort of like switch gears constantly, or like go to meetings or answer emails. When you're trying to like work on something specific. So it's good to have like a day interrupted to be able to concentrate on something. So
I know that Chris says that the morning hours, early morning hours, are the best hours for him because nothing doing.
And when I take sick days and just work from home, that's oh my God! God didn't like
sick
that.
Days, sick days for you.
Who's taking sick days?
It's not my fault. All right, I'm back. Okay, so
Oh, we're back. Okay.
so what are we doing right now?
Do we not have Austin?
All right, yeah. So yeah, what happened to Austin?
They didn't tell me a thing, but
Oh, it's us and him. We're doing an interview with him.
Okay, come on. All right, let's accept you on the video. Well, nice. All right.
Kyle, tell us about yourself, man.
well, my name's Kyle. You guys know me. Wow, I got a really delayed echo there.
If you're watching Twitch, remember to mute that.
Yeah, you want to probably mute Twitch since if you're just on the YouTube.
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought I had it muted already.
Radio on.
Anyways, my name's Kyle. You guys know me on the chat role as Private Dancer. It's my nice, funny name there.
Oh, I do know you as Private Dancer, yes.
We do know Private Dancer.
So where are you calling in from, Kyle?
I'm calling in from Oregon.
Oregon? Well, thank you for backing very much.
Well, thank you for making the game. I'm really excited to be able to play it.
Awesome.
Me and my friends all are.
It's good. So you, how late are you holding with it? I guess it's not so. You're on our time, which is West Coast time. So.
I'm on your time. I'm gonna try to make it pretty late. I think. I had some plans this weekend, but you know, who needs sleep?
Exactly. And we got a whole fridge full of various energy drinks. So,
There you go.
Good, and plenty of sugar. We got this rather nice looking red velvet cake behind us. At some point, we'll probably knock into.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be able to make it. I believe in you.
There you go. So when did you hear about Star? Just out of curiosity, like when did you hear about it? When did you back? That kind of.
I heard about it late October, early November. Is about when I heard about it, and then I pledged mid-November, right around the time of the campaign, and I was really beating myself up for that.
So you did it like at the end of the campaign then, or around like the very end, or just because I think we finished on the 18th, but then we had a grace period of like a week afterwards.
I believe I pledged on the 16th or 17th, so it was during the actual pledge.
Okay, yeah, right during the like crazy last few days.
Yeah, right at the end there.
I remember going, hey, what number should we set the Bengal carrier can be playable at? Because no one's ever going to get there. I don't know, 5.5, we're never getting to 5.5. And then we're like, holy shit, we got to 5. And like this. And then we're like, well, what happens at 6? I don't know. And that was a pretty awesome time at the end of that, because it's sort of that last weekend went nuts. I think we were actually hoping we could get to 4. It looked like maybe we'd get to 4, but we had no idea we'd end up at like 6.2. But I think everyone just went completely crazy on the last weekend. So, which is kind of doing this live stream because it's sort of in celebration of the last 24-hour live stream we did back in November, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it just from the perspective of a gamer. That was just ridiculous to just see everybody getting in there and wanting to pledge to see something like this. It was amazing.
Very awesome. So hey, what like in the game? What are you looking forward to doing the most? Or do you like what kind of role? What are you most interested in?
Well, me and my friends, we've been talking about it, and we've been really interested in doing kind of a smuggling bounty hunter, kind of right on the edge of the law kind of role, trying to stay kind of on the good side, but still doing what we have to do to make money. And I think that'd be fun. Maybe a little bit of bounty hunting here and there, because got a bunch of ships for that too now.
Oh, so what ships do you have?
I have the Constellation, the 325A now, and an Aurora, and I'm planning on possibly getting an M50.
All right.
And then maybe more, because I just keep saying it.
We have in the Constellation. I mean, I think we showed the Ryan Church's original design a while ago, but we now have it in engine, and it's pretty awesome. It's got like all the little bits move, and it's going to be fun to be flying that in the game. So I think
that'll be great.
You'll be quite happy with that, because it'll be that Millennium Falcon dream where you can get up while you're in flight or in combat, go around to get in the turret or jump in the little recon fighter and all the rest of stuff. So it'll be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Me and my friends are really excited about getting it fully manned together and then getting out there and facing pirates and doing our own thing. So
Yeah,
we're planning on a lot of fun.
That's the part of the gameplay I'm most looking forward to because that's really sort of the newest of it. So I mean, you know, obviously the single player stuff's going to be great, and we're doing a whole bunch of extra stuff to make that more nuanced and have a lot of different sort of tweaks and features that you can do in terms of getting into it and different sort of rock versus paper setups of how you set up your ship. But yeah, I mean, just the sort of combine, like having a small crew work together to fly one ship efficiently, I think is something I'm actually kind of looking forward to because it's sort of it's like a play style that I haven't really seen because, you know, even I like Battlefield, right? So I played, not recently because I haven't had a chance, but I have a lot of Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. And I always like, you know, you work with a few of your friends, you play together. So like me and Eric Peterson used to play Battlefield Bad Company 2 together. You know, you jump into a tank and someone will be running the gun and everything. And it's kind of cool, but it's like, it's still sort of, you're third person, you're outside it. You don't really feel like you're inside running it the same way as I think you'll feel inside, like, say, the Constellation, where you'll actually feel like, you know, immersed in it.
The impacts of the rounds hitting your ship, and hopefully I'm assuming you could see some damage inside your cockpit as your ship starts breaking down if you're really punished.
You know, that was in Wing Commander 1, so we're definitely doing it here. So I want, you know, like you see that you actually see, that was the whole idea with Wing Commander was like, you know, whatever we called it, what you see is what you get or something, but that's kind of the, but it was essentially, the idea was like, instead of like going, okay, you got 62% hull integrity or damage, it was like you actually saw, you know, displays sparking and, you know, VDUs were cracked and stuff like that as you got more damage, and we're definitely doing that in you know, in Star Citizen. So we're doing a fair amount of damage modeling, and all the different parts can get damaged, so they don't function as well or get completely destroyed, and we'll see that inside. And there should be a certain amount of sort of fixing up and repair that you can do even before you get to the planet. So you can't fully fix it up, but maybe you can patch it up enough to get back and get a proper repair or something like that.
Or if not, call one of the towing services I've heard about.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, that, you know, that was sort of like, it was a suggestion of someone like, well, there's no reason why that couldn't work because we have all the tools for it. So yeah, you know, he's the one who has a tractor server, tractor beam, or, you know, perhaps they also have, like, you know, they go out and they've got a tanker or something and they can, like, you know, fill you up if you run out of gas.
There you go.
Sort of AAA style.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. One of the questions I did have was on the Vanduul, as you kind of spread out along the outer rims of the less lawful portions of space, will you ideally run into random groups of them just out in the middle of nowhere to be able to have a chance to capture their ships or salvage their technology?
Well, no, you'll definitely, as you get more into the Vandal space, you'll see and meet more of them, and there'll be some tough battling. I mean, I'm not so sure. I mean, capturing is going to be a fair amount of a challenge.
I'm assuming with a fighter that would be.
Yeah. But there will definitely be opportunities in the game itself to potentially find some bits or get some upgrades, or, you know, maybe capture a different kind of Vandal ship that, you know, no one's had yet.
Are there going to be any options for just disabling a ship, like a round, or a way if you disable the shields with normal rounds and then be able to disable it kind of like someone would with a taser if they were just wanting to put them down briefly but not kill them? Same thing with a ship.
Dave, didn't we have, what's that choker? Wasn't there one that we did that, like, drained? I can't remember. It was like we came
with an innovator or something like that. It drained their power plant or something.
It was yeah.
Like an EMP type thing.
Yeah.
There was basically something that, like, would prevent someone from running away. I can't remember. Yeah. So yes, the answer would be yes.
That sounds wonderful. It'd be a lot easier to capture a smaller fighter that way instead of just destroying it and calling it quits for the night.
Yeah, I think now you can search on the new website.
Actually, I have the Word doc open.
That's the advantage of having the writer sitting right here at the table.
Yeah.
That always helps.
Yeah, the innovator.
Boom, Idris is sold out.
No.
Yeah.